here's the latest playoff picture. 2 Game 6s on Friday, while the Thunder and Knicks await their conference finals opponents. It must be nice to be just waiting. Who's going to join us? What a good place to be.
I'm waiting for somebody to join me all the time. Hasn't happened yet.
Not here. We always got a full house for you, Robin.
Yeah.
All right, New York is on a 7-game winning streak this postseason. After sweeping the Sixers in round 2, the Knicks will face either the Pistons or the Cavs. Now, the Pistons swept the season series against the Knicks, winning all 4 matchups. The Knicks won 2 out of 3 against Cleveland this season. DeAndre, who do you think the Knicks would have more success with, or against them, rather, next round?
Ooh, I think that's tough. I think
It is
that
hard.
the basketball fan in me, when we, look, we know what happened last year in the playoffs with these two teams. So I would love to see that Detroit Knicks rematch, and I'm sure Detroit wants to see that as well. But they got to get through Cleveland first, and I think that Cleveland will provide an offensive just show, a masterclass that we would, an NBA fan would love to see. So I think that the Knicks obviously, want to, prove that they can beat Detroit, but I think that home court advantage is very underrated, and I think that's important.
Yeah.
I gotta agree. I think the Knicks, they don't want to see the Cavs between the two teams because the Eastern Conference Finals. You mentioned the home court advantage. You mentioned the firepower that the Cavs have. You have Donovan Mitchell and James Harden on that roster, and that's the time where stars really shine. Don't get me wrong. You got to have those glue guys. You got to have your role players. But stars really shine when you get this deep in the playoffs.
Yeah, I would say if I was, you're never trying to get your team to think about wanting a team or not wanting a team, but that's over here sitting as a fan. I would say they would rather play the Pistons, even though the Pistons have the home court advantage, just from if we're just talking matchups, because if they're watching right now what Cleveland's doing to Detroit, they've got multiple guys they can pressure Cade with.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And the difference is they got an arsenal offensively to throw behind it. And so I just feel like if I'm New York, I'm like, I'll take the Pistons because now Cleveland is starting to show this is what that duo can be. And when it gets down to it, it's mano y mano, and they got 2 guys that get away, I got this. And they will do a better job of picking on Brunson and Cat better than Detroit will. Because they only got Cade that can pick on those guys, and he can get worn down over the course of time if you just keep putting people on him, trapping them, putting people on him. You trap one of those guys, they got the other guy. And so
And shooters to surround it.
And they got 2 bigs that they can throw at Cat that are legitimate defenders, right? Like one is a defensive player of the year and the other one's just a damn good basketball player. And so I would say if I was just sitting back wanting something, it would probably be the matchup with Detroit.
Yeah, you've seen in the past 2 series that Detroit's a beatable team. Orlando took them to 7. And this game has been, a nice blueprint for the Knicks to be able to watch.
Yep.
So it's like you said about throwing bodies. You have Mikal Bridges, you have Josh Hart, you have OG Anunoby that you can throw at Cade. So you can guard him with strength, with length, with quickness. So I think that they have that recipe. And then also you have Cat, who's able to space the floor. So Duran has to be able to go out there and guard on the perimeter, hedge out on screens, recover back out from the paint, so he can't just sit there.
There's a lot of pressure on him.
Yeah, so I think that, and then obviously with the shooters that the Knicks have, you get Detroit in spacing situations and rotations, and that's when they're really, really tough to guard.
The funny part is, Cleveland's obviously playing great and they got Detroit on the ropes. But if anybody thought Detroit was going to win this year, this is how they were going to win.
Right.
The ugliest way possible. No one thought they were the number 1 team in the East all year, right? Everybody thought their roster was limited and had a lot of holes in it. And so once they hit the playoffs, I know in my mind, I was like, if Detroit even gets to that promised land, it's going to be one of the ugliest routes ever. Like, it's going to be the Orlando series. We all thought they were dead. They come back, they grind it out. Right now we're looking at it, they're on their deathbed again. They're the type of team that can go on the road. They got that kind of toughness to go get a win in Cleveland, And so, this is what I expected from them. Just up and down, ugly, figure it out basketball.
Yep.
Real quick, Steve, who would you prefer
Oh.
for the Knicks to play? He says Cleveland and 4 games at the Garden. Let's go. Producer Steve, let's go. That's what I'm talking about.
I like his thought process.
Yeah, I do too.
I like his thought process.
Meantime, OG Anunoby reportedly is healthy enough to play in the Eastern Conference Finals after missing the last 2 games against the Sixers with a hamstring strain. How important is he to the Knicks and their chances to succeed in the next round, Robin?
He's very important. The Knicks have been searching for that de facto third man. They know who their top 2 are, but OG Anunoby has absolutely emerged as that guy in this playoff run. He was luminescent, especially in the first series, but they definitely want him out there. He's been their 3rd best player.
Yeah, I would say for sure. And the thing about it is, it kept being this back and forth. Is it Bridges? Is it OG?
Yeah.
I think what ended up solving that was OG. He just said, I'm going to be this 3rd scorer. And what ended up playing out when Mike Brown got Cat to be the facilitator, it opened it up for those other guys to be themselves, the Bridges and guys like that. But OG definitively said, I'm this guy. I'm this 3rd guy. I'm taking this spot because he does pose a lot of different things for the opposition. He can post. And that's a huge weapon to have in the playoffs. When you can play off that elbow or off that post and you make threes and you're the 3rd best scorer, that's a deadly weapon to have in the playoffs. So, kudos to him for taking that spot like that.
Yeah, he's a nightmare, man. I think that like you said, that first series, he just kind of completely took over. I mean, he's averaging 22 points, 8 rebounds, and shooting 55% from 3. So it's really cool to see him develop from a 3-and-D slasher kind of guy that we saw in Toronto to now he's the 3rd option. And sometimes on the floor, he may be the best player, just depending on the game and the matchup. And he can score on all 3 levels. He's defending your best player, and he just brings a different kind of physicality that they need on that team. And I think that he's an X factor for them. And then when you say about him or Mikal Bridges, that's a good problem to have, I think.
Are you kidding me? I was like, what are y'all arguing
That's
with?
a great problem to have. The deeper your team, the better.
I didn't have those arguments. DJ was there when we were having those debates about that roster. Like, good grief. Like, that is a great problem.
Great problem.
But what's great about it, too, is that by OG declaring that I'm going to be the 3rd guy, it makes it easier for everybody else on the roster to know, okay, this is my job. We talked about roles with Oklahoma City.
Right.
Then the people know now, okay, this is what I'm going to do when I'm on the floor. You're going to be doing that. This is what I'm going to contribute. Makes it easier for everybody. It trickles down.
No doubt. Totally agree.
Yeah, when people know the role, everything falls in line. Okay. This is the association, and after 5 seasons as president of the Philadelphia 76ers, Daryl Morey is now no longer a part of the Philly front office. During his tenure, the Sixers went 270 and 212 in the regular season, but just 28 and 26 in the post, never advancing beyond round 2. In this year's playoffs, they were swept by the New York Knicks. Coach, do you think it was a right move for Philly to move on from Morey?
I don't see how it's on him.
No.
I mean, your star player, doesn't play full seasons, and what he's added to the team around Joel has been fantastic. I thought their supporting cast, if you get a healthy Joel Embiid on the court with those guys, they did beat the team that everybody was saying was the favorite in the East when Joel was on the court, which was Boston. I thought he did a great job of surrounding him with a great talent. Grimes, Maxey, Edgecombe, Oubre, like he really put a good backup center in Drummond. So I don't know. At the end of the day, I don't think it's anybody's fault. Your star player is banged up, and when you get into the 2nd and 3rd round of the playoffs, and he's not, firing on all cylinders or playing in real pain against a team like the Knicks, what do you expect to happen? And so I think sometimes the league gets blamed crazy, right? Somebody's got to go. When sometimes it's just that team was better and you weren't healthy. And I think that's exactly what it was, because Nick Nurse is a championship coach, a heck of a coach, to even have them in that position when Embiid was out most of the year. So no one to blame. Unfortunately for Daryl, he's out, but, this is the NBA.
Yeah, I got to agree with Coach. I'm perplexed. If I'm a fan of Philadelphia 76ers after that season, I'm ecstatic. it took, like he said, it took them having maybe their best player. That's a beautiful thing about it.
Yeah.
Maybe their best player, Joel Embiid, not healthy to lose that series against the Knicks. 'Cause what else do they have?
Ooh,
They have VJ Edgecombe. They have Tyrese Maxey.
he's a monster.
Led the league in scoring this year. And that's why I was hesitant to call Joel the best player on the floor
Yep.
for the Sixers. And when you have a duo that's that good, come on, man.
Yeah, and they didn't lose to a slouch. It's not like they got
Right.
upset. You know,
No, New
the
York
Knicks
is-
went to the Eastern Conference Finals last year, so it's and lost a tough matchup to the Pacers. But I think that with that being said, with Bob Myers overseeing the operation right now, I think that they're in good hands with whatever they decide to
Oh,
do.
for
Obviously,
sure.
Yeah.
you know, Bob has constructed teams to win championships, so they know what they're doing. But I do think that it was a little early, and maybe they could have given it another year.
Yeah, I
beat.
totally agree.
Yeah, but it's always like someone's head must roll, not to be
Yeah.
dramatic about it all. But you know how it goes around here. Meantime, we rattled off a bunch of names. There's one we left out because the Sixers now head into the offseason with Tyrese Maxey, Paul George, Joel Embiid, and VJ Edgecombe all under contract for multiple seasons. Quentin Grimes and Kelly Oubre are both unrestricted free agents. They have the 22nd pick in this year's NBA draft as well. Where do the Sixers go from here this offseason to really get over the hump, Coach?
I think they got to make some serious considerations when it comes to Embiid's future in Philly.
Yeah.
I mean, as great as he is when he's healthy. I mean, we saw it. He was MVP and he played 68 games. I mean,
Yeah.
you balling. You
Oh, yeah.
missed 14 games and still the MVP, right? So, you know, he's that talented, but he's missed a lot of games. And at some point, you got to make a decision on whose team it is and how you're going to build forward because, you know, Tyrese Maxey is a monster. Like, that's just a reality. This kid is a beast, and I do like those other supporting players. I think the big thing that they're going to have to consider, if they do consider trading Embiid, is the other team who's receiving him and how many teams would actually be willing to get into that based on the injury history, right? You know, I wonder what his market value is when it comes to that, because we know his talent is top market value, but when your body breaks, that takes your value down a lot when it comes to trades and assets and people moving players around. So it's really going to be an interesting season for Philly. And like you said, luckily for them, they got Bob Myers. So
That's true.
you know, he knows what he's doing a little bit.
It's just crazy. The more I think about Joel Embiid and his health injury, I don't know what bad juju somebody put on Joel Embiid. He's dealt with Bell's palsy. He had appendicitis this season. I mean, it's like
weirdest
always
stuff,
the weirdest stuff, not just like a hammy
Yeah.
or an ankle. Like, my guy is going through it, but still tries to come back every year and show how important he is to every franchise. But you're right, Coach. At some point, you got to think, is the juice worth the squeeze? I don't know. For a big man like Joel Embiid, it might just be.
Yeah, yeah.
Where does VJ Edgecombe fit into all of this, DeAndre? Because he's just scratching the surface, which is what makes him so exciting.
I'm a big fan of EJ Edgecombe.
Yeah.
I think
Same
that
piece. Yeah.
Tyrese and him, they really complement each other well. They're, like you talk about speed, that's a fast backcourt. VJ defends, he can shoot, he's athletic. And it seems like he is older than his years.
Yeah.
I even liked watching him in college. It just seemed like he was a Mr. Do-It-All. And when you have a guy like that who can play off the ball, on the ball, score, defend, he is a threat that you're going to want on your team, and it kind of gives Tyrese a little bit of relief on both ends of the floor.
Yeah, he won games without making different plays all year, like game-winning plays, like whether it was a rebound putback or a big steal or a block, or he's a gamer, and those are the guys you keep, and you help. He's going to be part of their winning moving forward. It would have to be a huge deal if he's not a part of Philly, but he's the kind of guy you keep in your locker room because, you know, those natural winners are hard to find. He plays winning basketball every single semester. I kept calling him all year Mr. Relentless. He never gave up on a play. And those guys, I just love them, and, you know, he's got a great career ahead of him.
Yeah, I think what we've seen is that confidence and the composure, especially when they're up against the big dogs in the league. Okay, we'll be right back on the association to discuss who the Knicks should prefer as a potential Eastern Conference Finals opponent.